Last year, Chat GPT and AI started getting really popular with the mainstream regular people, and since then I have been inundated with many questions about Chat GPT. Not many chat, I don't know, whatever the other AI things are. And I have actually been looking into them, so I should know what they're called, but I don't. But all the different AI programs and what they're gonna do to TPT sellers and people who sell, printable things on the internet like us. And since that's what we talked about, that's what we're gonna talk about now. Now, I realize I probably should have posted this video like a year ago, but honestly, a year ago, I was like at my wit's end of my brain is full and I can't think about something else. So it's really just in the last couple of months that I have even tried any of these AI programs and things like that. So now that I have tried them, I have seen kind of what they can do and what they can't do. I've talked to people about it. These are my thoughts about AI, what it's going to do to us, what we should do, and how to handle this. So grab a cup of coffee and let's get into it. So before we get into this, I just want to reiterate that these are all my personal opinions and all of this could be wrong. So don't stress about it. Don't, take my word for it. Take what I say and then think about it yourself and come to your own conclusions. So first of all, is ChatGPT/AI going to make TPT irrelevant? No. People will still need to talk to people. They will still need to have information and they will still need to have resources that are ready to use. So the short version is no, I don't think that it's going to completely eradicate everything that we're doing. However, it is something that we should be aware of for the future because it is entirely possible in the future that it might affect sales. Basically, AI makes it really easy for teachers to create different things online. So I have started dabbling, I would say, with AI. I've used it for a couple of different things and I've seen where it, can do a really good job and I've seen where it really just lacks. And do keep in mind, it's going to get better and better and better, but at the current moment, I would say that yes, it's going to take some business, possibly, but not all. Hear me out. AI can do certain things really well. So especially like it can create writing prompts, it can create word problems, it can create worksheets, and it can come up with different ideas, but it kind of lacks in the specifics. Again, at the moment, it will get better. So we'll see what happens later on down the line. So for example, I, was just testing it out and I was asking it to make different like music lesson plans. And I found that it would have good ideas, but it didn't have specifics. It would say, and then read a book or, and then listen to a song. And it would say things like that. Like it wouldn't get as detailed as I maybe wanted it to. So for some things, it has been working out pretty well. And then for other things, it just hasn't quite gotten there yet. So what that means for you is that in the future, maybe one day some of the things that we make will be things that we maybe don't need to make anymore because of AI, but not all of it. So what things would you want to focus on? I would say that with this all coming out, AI, those kind of things, the things you want to avoid would be things that are simplistic, things that are easy. Things like lists and suggestions, ideas, worksheets, like those simple things already are the things that AI is going to do the best at. They're also the things that frankly are not maybe the best use of your time. I don't know about you, but I personally find that my products that do the best are ones that are detailed, ones that have a lot going on, things that are really like just have that human element that a teacher has to make. So slideshows that include, in-depth parts of the lesson and introduce different concepts and include, teacher directions and student directions and have activities and like those kind of things that are really well done and all encompassing tend to be the things that do the best in my store. Or, you know, those things that come from my brain, a really fun game that I created, or, you know, a really fun activity that I created because I used it with my kids. Those are the things that tend to do the best in my store anyway. And I think going forward, that's going to be even more obvious, is that the things that are going to do the best are things that are in depth, that take a lot of time, that you can't just type into Chat GPT and it spits it out. Those kind of things will get, you know, less and less and less sales going forward because it's easy for people to make. So when you're looking at what products you should make, you want to make sure that you have things that are super specific. That's one thing. Make sure it's really specific and it has specific things in there, things that are from the heart and things that are ready to go, because teachers are always going to need ready to go activities that are ready to go. Even if we use Chat GPT, like, you still have to put in some effort, versus on TPT, if I can just print or I can just throw it on my screen, that's going to be a heck of a lot easier. But those things that are more detailed and more thoughtful are going to be the things that work best. So in the future, I would say do less of those small things that maybe aren't going to sell. So in the future, I would say do less of those quick things, those things that you could churn out pretty easily, and focus more on the longer things. Are they going to take longer? Yes. But that's why teachers need us. If you have something that's really simple, people can't pay very much money for it. But if you have something that is detailed and that has lots of stuff in it and, you know, is really beefy and includes a lot of things that teachers love, that's going to sell a lot better because they don't want to put in that effort. You know, like, I have song-based lessons and I have virtual field trips that took me hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of working on things, and they include videos and they include this and they include that, and like, they include all these things that I had to put in that time to do. And because I had to put in all that time, it's worth it for a teacher to buy it because they couldn't just do it themselves. And honestly, that's always been the case, but it's going to be much more prevalent as we go forward. As far as what you should post, because that's a big thing, is like, oh, is blogging gonna be dead now? Is YouTube gonna be dead? You know, like, if we can have all these things that AI can create, do I even need to do these things? And the answer is yes. But again, you want to focus on things that AI maybe can't do. So as we go further into the artificial intelligence, people are going to be more and more wanting actual heartfelt personal connections. So if you have a blog or a YouTube channel or emails that you send that include lots of stories and lots of examples from your classroom and things like that that people can't recreate, that the computer can't recreate because it's you and it has that heart, that's going to do so much better. I would also venture to say that things that are more and more niche are probably going to do better as well, because the whole point of AI is that it learns more as you know, people feed things into it. And so the more specific it is, the less people are going to feed into it. That's my personal opinion. I'm really not an expert. So when you look at things you need to post, think about including stories, think about including, you know, heartfelt things and tips and those things that you really need to be a teacher to understand. And that's going to help you stay on top of the AI, because we still need those personal connections even if we have all of this super cool technology, right? Right. So if you're worried about AI taking over your business, I wouldn't stress about it so far. First of all, it's going to take a while to really catch on, because think about it. How many people in your building are actually using AI? Think about how many people can't even figure out how to not reply all in an email. Okay, like, those kind of people that can't figure out their email are probably not going to be using Chat GPT. And so think about it that way, of like, okay, first of all, not everyone's going to use it. Not everyone's going to be tech savvy enough. Not everyone's going to want to use it. Secondly, my district has banned Chat GPT. So you're going to run into that as well. I mean, obviously, like, I could do stuff at home and then go to school with it already done, but you know, be aware of that too. So just don't stress about AI and all of that stuff. Do think about it and think about how you could use it, first of all, which will be a video later on when I'm a little more savvy into it. I have a couple things that I've been using it for, but when I have, you know, more stuff in there. But do use it, you know, check it out, do think about it, and think about what you could do that a computer couldn't recreate, or at least that a couldn't recreate easily. Because remember, AI, you got to have a person telling the AI what to do in order for it to create something. So make it complicated enough that that's not possible, and make it just really good. And y'all, if you have that human connection with your audience, that's going to make a huge difference. There are people who buy my stuff rather than other people's stuff because they watch my YouTube videos, they read my blog, they are on my email list, so they know me, and they still have that know, like, and trust feature, and they trust that I'm going to do a better job than someone else, so they'll buy my stuff. Even I have a product line that I charge a good bit more than somebody else who has a very similar product line, and it's one of my best sellers. And the only thing I can think of is that people must choose mine because they know, like, and trust me, and also because I promote it. So, you know, we got that going for us too. So if you're thinking like, oh my gosh, AI is taking over the world, what am I even doing? Don't stress. Do think about how you can be smart moving forward, and do think about, you know, how you can create that human connection with your audience in content and in emails and in your products even. You know, add those pictures in your products of you in, you know, like a little picture of you, and say thanks, so that they, you know, associate that you're a real person. Things like that could go a really long way long term into making sure that, you know, we keep commerce personal. Isn't that what Etsy's pushing right now? Keep commerce personal, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, so those are my very opinionated thoughts. Feel free to think whatever you like, but that's my suggestions, and I will do more of the AI, and I'll let you know ways you can maybe use it in your class as well. So, okay, thanks. Bye.